All right, hello everybody. Talking to myself for just a brief moment there. I uh, I realized when I was getting ready to start the stream that I didn't have the lower scores there, so I had to put the lower scores in real fast. So, but we are set to go now. We close all these things out that I don't need. We'll get started here. Well, it is officially winter time. It was bound to happen. Mute it, no sound. Yep. Thank you, Junk. Thank you, Chris. I was getting all that fixed up here. Facebook should be good to go. Let me get our TikTok audience on here. And then we will be ready to go. Go live on TikTok. Yes. Overtime. Chris Evans. Paste. We'll just close that there. And more. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I just did this here. I will be setting up for production at UCO. I think maybe Tuesdays when I'm headed up there. All right, we're going to go live on TikTok. I'm going to put the link into the TikTok so they can come to YouTube. All right, Courtney says hello. Let's see if the comments are working for Courtney and for me and for everybody else. They are working. Awesome. Get my game notes out. Worked on those this afternoon. Then we'll officially get started. Everything looks good. Good evening, Sunday evening to you. Chris Evans coming from the home office this evening, Sunday night. It is November 30th, the last day of November. Hard to believe December starts here in a few short hours. It has gone crazy. It feels like December out there. It is cold, and officially at our household, we had our first fire of the winter season. I know it's not of the year because we had fires in January and February, I'm sure, but fireplace is lit tonight. Sunday night football in the living room before coming out here. So I hope everyone has a great day. We had some state semifinals last week. We had some bye weeks last week, but everybody is on the schedule this week. Good to have everybody on the schedule. It's so weird to have not able to talk about Elgin, Tuttle, Adair, Lincoln Christian, Sulphur, Cushing, all those schools, Davis, Vian. Didn't talk about them because they were off last week, but we are talking those schools tonight, and we're also talking state championships. 2 games on Thursday, 2 games on Friday, 2 games at Saturday at UCO. I will be setting up equipment on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and then we will have games on Thursday. Something cool this year that the OSSAA is doing. I think they released it. Yeah. No, they released it. I think they did. If not, they should have released it by now. I was told. Hold on. I better make sure this is out here real quick before I don't want to make sure I'm not saying something I should not be saying. But I think this would already be out here. OS. I don't want to get ahead of it. I think they surely had already put this out publicly. They did. Okay, awesome. So on Tuesday of this week and Tuesday next week, there will be press conferences at UCO for all the state championship coaches, state championship game coaches, and 2 players, I believe. So a coach and 2 players from each school will be at UCO on Tuesday, the week of their state championship. So we'll have Class 6A, Class 5A, Class B, Class C with us on Tuesday at UCO for some press conferences. And the good thing about that, for us anyway, is I'll go down there and interview some coaches and some players, and not only have it for our Wednesday night show in the High School Huddle. Hopefully we can get that produced pretty quick, but also have it for game broadcasts. So we'll be able to talk to coaches and players and use it for the High School Huddle on Wednesday night and also for the games that week. So they will have that. I think that's at 9 to 11 at UCO this Tuesday and also for next Tuesday. So that's pretty cool that they're adding that so coaches and players can spotlight their teams the week of the state championship game. So that will be cool. Hope to be a pretty cool deal. So I'll be there Tuesday for that. John, breaking news. No, nothing too exciting on the breaking news front there. So there's some cool things that we're working with that I'm working with the OSSAA for basketball season. That'll be cool later on. So a lot of great things happening in high school athletics. I do want to say this real quick. If you're watching on TikTok, good to see everybody over there. I have put a link into TikTok, and I really, really highly encourage everybody that's watching on TikTok, if you wouldn't mind just scooting over to YouTube and subscribe and like. That would really help us out. We are 27 subscribers away from 500. We started this channel all brand new this year. It's been on a couple of different channels, but we have dedicated High School Huddle as its own YouTube channel. And so we had over 1,000 on another platform. And we started over because long-term, this is the way to do it. So with that being said, we need 27 more subscriptions to get us to the 500 level. And then our next goal would obviously be 1,000. So, but also, if you're putting your questions in TikTok, it's a lot easier for me to see your comments on Facebook or YouTube. We prefer the YouTube, but I will still try to get to your comments on TikTok. I put the link, if you're watching on TikTok, I did put the link in the comment section for you to take a look at it there. So, Hominies was whooping Thomas, Randy says yes. Boy, that game seems like it was 3 weeks ago, a month ago, but it was only the other week. So, Elmo says, go Cushing Tigers. They will have a big contest with the Elgin Owls. 4A is going to be a lot of fun in the semifinals. 4 really good teams in Class 4A. Of course, you get to the semis, everybody is good those rest of the way there. So, getting locked in for Stroud Adair. Dustin, watch it on TikTok as well. Yes, looking forward to that game as well. The Final Four in 2A2 is really good as well. Really good. That Vian Davis game, that is a state championship type of game right there. That will be big time. Stroud and Adair will be good as well. But that Davis Vian, that will be highly interesting to see that ball game, no doubt. Elmo, been to the playoff last 6 years straight, one state run. Been to the playoff last 6 years. Elmo's talking about Cushing. You talking about Cushing, Elmo? We'll see. Chris Hayes. Yes. So bye week sucks for fans, but good for players. You know, so each year for the last 20 plus years, I've been covering Guthrie football, and Guthrie made the state championships last year, and I actually missed the Guthrie football game for the first time, and I can't ever remember. I was in high school, probably the last time I missed the Guthrie game, because I was doing state championships at UCO, basically like this week last year, and so I had to produce the state championship game and then actually missed the Guthrie semifinal game. It was so weird watching scoring updates on my phone for Guthrie. So that would be odd for a fan to be off that week. You mean you just go. There are some, there's obviously that one bye. Some teams have 2 because of scheduling, but that would be awkward to have a bye week. And it's good for players, good for coaches. I think it's if you're winning a lot of games, you just want to keep winning, but I'm sure it does help to kind of relax and get a good game plan for the biggest game of the year for the state semifinals. And of course, it only gets bigger after that as well. So, my man Charlie in the house, the Tallahena Golden Tigers, Coach Gravett, Landon Griffith, Amon, man, they are good. Tallahena is really, really good. They'll have a great contest this week as well in semifinal action. Looking forward to that. We'll look at that a little bit closer as well. Cody Knox here. Cody does, if you watch over our game broadcast of the state championship, Cody has done a lot of the graphics for us there. So we really appreciate his talents. And these same teams keep making it over and over. And so we only have to add 3 teams this week because teams like Bixby and Owasso, they were in last year's state championship game, so no new graphics for them. But the Ryan Cowboys are in the state championship for first time in a long time. Let's see here. Sand Springs. Cody has to do Sand Springs graphics, Ryan Cowboys graphics, and was it Medford? Is it Medford, Cody? I think we have to add graphics for. Yes. So if you're getting graphics built, that means you're in the state championship for the first time in a while. So congratulations to those schools. We'll look at those here in just a few moments. Charlie says, I think there's only 2 Owls left in the state playoffs. Pretty cool. So Fairland Owls and the Elgin Owls. Are there any other Owls out there? I think there only 2, right? Only 2 Owls? Am I missing somebody? Junk says, why Ponca City for that game? I have some crazy hair today. I apologize for that. Ignore that. That's bad. That is bad, bad, bad. Oh, I put a hoodie on today. It was cold. I had to put my hoodie on. So that explains the craziness there. Why Ponca City for that? Good question. Fair question. I'm going to open this door. It's getting warm. Great question. Fair question for the location of the Ponca City. Simply because, if it was, Adair and, boy, I'm drawing a blank. Adair, is it Adair? Boy, I'm out of sight, out of mind for a week. Adair, gee, mini Christmas. I apologize. This is so bad. Adair, is it Fairland? Is it Fairland? Stroud. I just said that earlier. Adair, Stroud. Ideally, the perfect place would be Sapulpa, Sand Springs, Owasso, so in that area. Those schools did not put a bid in to host, and Ponca City did, and so that's the closest school that they could get to the OSSAA as far as assignments. They much rather have it so in the Tulsa area, but none of the Tulsa schools put in for that game or games, and Ponca City did, and that's the closest that the OSSAA could get that there. So the OSSAA sends out emails to all the schools. Hey, we'd love for you to host. Here's what it is. The blah 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 blah. If you're interested, please fill out an application, and they do that. And so the OSSAA gets the applications, and they make contact. And hey, are you available? And then those schools say yes. And Ponca City was available. Other schools in the Tulsa area were not available. So you got to get Stroud and Adair as close as you can. It's at Ponca City. It's not the ideal location, but it is location, and that's what it is. So that's what happens. There are times like where it does happen. So don't sleep on Fairland. Thanks, Junk. I complete brain freeze there on the Stroud Tigers. So Charlie says they got a good facility and schools got to agree. Yep, that's exactly right, Charlie. And been to Ponca City many, many times. They got a new press box a few years ago, turf field, great restaurants in Ponca City. I think everybody will enjoy their time in Ponca. I've been there several times for football, basketball, baseball. Good people over in Ponca. So I think Stroud and Adair would go to McPherson, Kansas to play state semifinal if they really wanted to. But make it a day. Make it a day. TJ says, I just learned that Heritage Hall and Lincoln Christian, 2 schools that have plenty of extra cash to travel to get to go to Bristow, while 2 small schools have to travel for Adair and Stroud. OSSAA with the thumbs down. Yeah, TJ, I can understand that. I can see that where you're coming from. I will just say the OSSAA has to make a lot of decisions for a lot of people, for a lot of schools, and they're not going to have a 100% satisfaction rate. I tell you, not that the OSSAA assigns this, but living in Guthrie, it would have been a lot easier for our production crew to go over to Edmond North, 20 minutes that way, to produce and call 6A2 semifinal games, but our crew was assigned to Catoosa, Oklahoma for the 6A1 state semifinals, which was great. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But our crew left at 8:15 in the morning from Guthrie, went to Catoosa, called 2 games, and got home at 1:15 a.m. That was a 17-hour day for our crew. We're not complaining. It was just a long day. And so it would make sense for us to go to Edmond, but they wanted us in Catoosa, being the NFHS network, want us to be in there. And we were exact, if you want us at those games, that's where we're going to go. But we didn't have the best travel either. So I get it. I totally get it. But that's where we were sent. And that's, we didn't mind that one bit. We had a good time in Catoosa. Tip of the cap to the Catoosa folks. I know the large newspaper up in that Tulsa area really took a couple of shots at Catoosa, because the other schools around in the Tulsa area for the Bixby Broken Arrow game and also the Jinx Owasso game, a lot of schools didn't put in for that. Also, obviously, Chapman Stadium at Tulsa would have been a great location. Union would have been a great location for that game. Claremore, we saw last year, would have been a good location for that. And those schools put in to host for the OSSAA, so they had to go with Catoosa. Catoosa said, hey, we'll go. We'll host that game. Not a problem. And so that's why those games were played in Catoosa. But Catoosa, great job. 2 press boxes for those 4 large schools. They did a great job. There was some small details inside the press box. They had goodie bags for the members, for our production crew, and for all the other media folks out there. They did a great job. They had a taco bar for lunch and dinner, and they went all out in Catoosa. So sidebar real quick, and I'm sure my brother will talk about this on Wednesday night. So Catoosa's football public schools is right across from Hard Rock Casino. And my brother, who had spent many, many years in the casino business, told us, because we had time in between games to go to dinner, he said the casino world, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, is the second busiest day for a casino. And so the busiest day, by the way, is New Year's Eve. So you had the second busiest day for a casino, plus 4 large schools, Bixby, Broken Arrow, Jinx, and Owasso, playing football at Catoosa. And there was a lot of traffic in that area. That's probably the only downside of the entire time, was the amount of traffic with casino and football at the same time. But Catoosa police were out there directing traffic. They shut down a couple of lanes to get traffic flowing a little bit better. So tip of the cap to Catoosa. I'm going to say it again on Wednesday night. I'm going to send an email to my friends over the OSSAA to let them know exactly how great of a job they did, because they kind of got some bad press at the beginning. In fact, the column in the Tulsa World had said it was like talking about the 4 6A1 schools. It was like a major league day and two major league games in a double A facility. I thought, man, that was kind of ugh. But Catoosa did it. So sidebar, they did a really, really great job. Chris Hayes, glad they were adding extra seats at Pump City North for Elgin. Yes. I've not been to PC North's brand new. I've seen it, but I've not been inside PC North Stadium. So I'm glad they are adding additional seats in there, because I know Elgin will turn out for that game. Cushing will travel well, but Elgin, I can already tell you, Elgin will bring more fans to that ball game. So T. Fred in the house. Always good to hear from T. Fred. His Irish are in the state championship in Class 5A. Indeed, they are. They rolled their way into the championship game. Had a great game with Guthrie, came down to the wire, rode Claremore, rode Lawton Mac. They're in the championship. We'll talk about them here in a second as well. Jank, to me, that is an amazing field in Catoosa. It was my first time to be there for football. I've been there for basketball state tournament and for volleyball state tournament. But yeah, no, as far as production, of course, no one cares about us in the press box, but it was really comfortable. We were comfortable the entire time. Our camera crew, outside the rain, light rain, was comfortable as well. So kudos to Catoosa, man. I was so happy for them. They had spent a lot of money over the years, and it was their chance to showcase Catoosa. I guarantee a lot of people from Broken Arrow or Owasso or Jinx had never been to Catoosa football anyway. I'm sure they might have gone to the casino before, but never been inside for a football game, and they got to show off their stadium. So that's one of the great things about hosting UCO. I guarantee you there's a lot of people from Vian, Adair, Walika, a lot of places that far away that would never go to Edmond or UCO, But with UCO hosting, those towns get to see the campus, and I guarantee you UCO gets a lot of students that they probably wouldn't have just because they get on campus and think, man, this place is pretty cool. You know, if you're a good baseball player, softball player, they always turn the lights on at all the stadiums so you can see all the facilities. And so I think it's a great tool to host if you're one to put it in. I'm hoping one day Union does it. They got a $35 million stadium. And I said this on the broadcast, and I said it kind of jokingly, but if you're Union, do you want to host and have Owasso and Broken Arrow and Jinx come into your stadium and play for a state championship berth in your stadium? I mean, I can see they would. I don't think they would be that bitter, but I'm just saying that I don't know if that plays a factor, but it's where my head goes sometimes. TJ, Caduce has an awesome atmosphere. Environment. They do. They really do. Unless you parked at the hotel. Yeah, we got set up and had a little bit of time before kickoff, so we went to go get the taco bar, and they made a few announcements to if you're parked here or here, be sure to move your car or you're going to get towed away. So watch the games in Catoosa on the NFHS network. Oh, awesome, Courtney. My dumb self had a couple of blunders, but it was going to happen. I would take it, though. There's a lot of pressure to get those games produced correctly and called correctly. We weren't perfect, but I would take that day for sure. Chris Devine, did Phil ever make it over to the Bixby sideline during the Bixby game? Saw him all over the BA sideline. So I know he made it over to the Jinx sideline because the starting quarterback for Jinx, Landon Kazar, junior quarterback, injured his hand or arm on the first series. He was throwing the ball, and I think he got hit somehow. But I know, obviously, if you watch the postgame, Phil talked to Coach Lauren Montgomery in his postgame interview. In fact, he talked to Coach Blankenship as well after the game. So I don't know if it was hard to look down there at Phil. I was trying to keep up with the play-by-play duties there, but I don't know if he made it over there. I know his microphone could reach there, so the technology would allow that to happen. So, all right, let's check over here on TikTok real quick. Again, if you're on TikTok, you want your comments seen a little bit easier, I would highly suggest to go over to the YouTube page. The link is in your comments. Getting locked in. Okay, that's where we left off. Okay. Elmo, Cushing made the playoff the last 6 years in a row. I believe one state run against Wagner. Yes. And that was, I probably don't want to hear this, Cushing fans, but that was the Wagner game-winning field goal. Coach Condit won the state championship there. It was a great game. Great game. Cushing looked well that night. Wagner won it, though. That was a great game. Elmo says Cushing wins a dogfight by 6 points. Cushing's got some great players. They definitely have some great players. I think Elgin is probably overall on paper the better team. They are the defending state champions and have rolled through everybody. And I do mean everybody this year, including Ada, which was not surprised they won, but the way they won, I think it was 42-10. That was impressive for me for folks over in Elgin. So. I seen the Ryan Cowboys are going to play state in 8-man. They have been pretty good the past few years. Yes, so that's all the way in Class C football. Ryan and Tipton for the second time this year. Ryan beat Tipton in the regular season, and that ended a 12-game winning streak for Tipton against Ryan. And Ryan, if I remember correctly, got a late score. Quarterback, I think it was Noah Torres, got a late score. And I think Torres also recovered a fumble late to secure the victory. I thought Tipton, every time I kept looking at the score, Tipton had the lead. I was like, oh man, this is the year for Ryan, as Ryden has been saying. Ryden said Ryan has been good over the years. They couldn't ever get over the hump past Tipton, but they do this year, and they're in the Class C state championship game this year against Medford. That will be, I believe that's a Friday game at noon at UCO. So, yeah, I was a little nervous for the Ryan Cowboys. They've been so close last few years, but they have made it to the state championship this year. And has Ryan ever won a state championship? Let's look that up. That'd be kind of cool to know ahead of time. That might be a graphic on the production here. Go to here. Ryan Cowboys. They have not. Okay, I did have this in notes. I looked this up last week. Ryan has one state championship in their school history in all their sports. It was girls basketball, 1965. So if there was a rooting interest, would it be Ryan for the first ever? Those are always fun to cover, the first ever state championships, and for those schools to win their first ever. We'll see if Ryan can do it. They got Medford. Medford has 4 titles. Medford's last title came in 1999. So C-man football, 8-man football, somebody's going to have a state championship. Ryan's looking for the first one ever, and Medford's looking for their first title since 1999. That'll be fun to watch. Be fun to watch. Dustin, I like how 6A1 games both being played the same day at the same location. Just wish they would do the same for all classes. Yes, I would agree. Totally agree with that, Dustin. So 6A1 was on the same day. 6A2 was also the same day, same location. 5A was played. Of course, last week you can do that because there was no school. The day after Thanksgiving, so there was no school in. All the semifinal games this week are at 12, well, if you count UCO, 13 different locations this week. And all of them are 7 o'clock games. So they're all being played at one time. But I don't know if it's because all the regular season we always have 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I love day games. We've gotten to cover a couple of day games now, our production crew. And those are the best. The UCO games at noon are the best. Those are cool. Bixby and Broken Arrow, neutral field, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's awesome. Choctaw, Stillwater, 1 o'clock. It's awesome. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. Cody Knox working on the production graphics as we speak. That's awesome. Again, big thank you to Cody for all of our game day graphics. Make them look good. Make them look sharp so we can put on the best show as possible. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about these games here. We got about 35 minutes for our TikTok folks, and we always shoot for an hour, and we always go over that, but it just depends on what everyone wants to talk about. There's not as many teams left over, so there's everyone who's still excited about football. Some have kind of moved over to basketball and wrestling, and that's expected. It always happens every year, but if your team's not in it and you're still here, man, we certainly appreciate that. Don't forget, Wednesday night, High School Huddle, 6 o'clock. We'll do it all the way even. I think we usually do it the week after the state championship as well. Then we'll take a little break and come back and get ready for the winter sports. So as you guys probably know by now, let's get there real quick. TJ, seeing the crazy stats on Sealing making history, winning 50-0 first 3 rounds. Yeah, I did see that, and almost happens every year with B and C. It's try to get excited for them. This is when I get really excited for B and C about the semifinals moving forward. And now the semis and championship games are always great. I'm not taking away from theirs, but Laverne beats Pond Creek Hunter 48-0. These are state semifinal games. Dewar beats Hollis 72-24. Walika beats O'Keene 52-28. Sealing, as TJ mentioned, beats Cherokee 50-0. Medford beats Timberlake 72-40. Now, Ryan and Tipton, the exception. That was a 32-28 ball game. That was a fantastic ball game. But even in the state semifinals, you get blowouts. So, TJ, I forgot to put TJ's comment. TJ, I think I would certainly thank TJ. I have it down here, but maybe TJ would know. All 3 playoff victories, 50-0. I thought I wrote it down. I did not write it down. But anyway, I would certainly think those all happened before the end of the ball game. So in 8-man football, if you ever get up by 45 points or more, game's over. Game's over. So they call that 45ing. So anytime you go up 45 points in 8-man football in the second half, the game is over. Well, could it happen in the second quarter too? Usually happens in the third quarter. But yeah, so that's the only little downfall on 8-man football, but always great at UCO. So as you mentioned, we were at the 6A1 games, and so I got to see Bixby for the first time. I've seen Bixby last several years, obviously in state championship games and a few other times when we've had bye weeks with our production, but it was rumored at about the middle of the year that this could be the best Bixby team of all time. It backed it up a little bit, 654 points in the regular season. That's the most points ever. They beat their own record in 2022 when they had 644. But they are so good. I keep being so good is not really enough. And give Broken Arrow some credit. Broken Arrow's best record since 2019. I think they had 3 losing seasons in a row before Coach Travis Hill comes on. And if you guys follow me, you know I'm a huge Travis Hill guy. He won state championship at East Central. He won them at Muskogee. And he's got Broken Arrow already with their best record since 2019. Got him to the state semifinals. But with that being said, it was a great 3-quarter ball game. And then Bixby scores 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to separate themselves in a 49-17 win. But they are so good. Bixby is so good. And their creativity on offense and defense, their play calling is unbelievable. It's I don't even have the right words to describe how good they are. And so we keep hearing the number 1 team in the nation and all these rankings. I can see why. They are so good, so creativity. They never get bored. They play hard on every single play. They hurry to the line. All their different formations, you don't know what's coming. The misdirection plays are unbelievable. Presley had a couple big plays, but there for a while on the broadcast, I said, man, Presley's been really quiet. And then boom, boom, and it's just like that. Jake Gill, Carson Kirby, the starting quarterback for Bixby's 36-2. He has 2 state championships. So he has 2 losses as a starting quarterback, and he has 2 state championships going for state championship number 3. They are just so technique-wise so good. They know where to be on every single play, every single time. They don't make any mistakes, hardly any penalties. So they were just so sound, so disciplined. I cannot brag enough. And I know if you're in different towns and you hear this thing about Bixby and you don't pay attention to it, you just see 70-0 and 52-14. You just see scores. I'm telling you, they are good. They are elite. They're not. I need to quote saying they're so good. They're elite is what they are. It is so fun to watch, and I don't know how it gets stopped. On TikTok and all these reels, these 3rd grade Bixby kids, 4th grade Bixby kids, they're only getting better and better. So I know, the Mole kid moved in to Bixby from Owasso. That made him even better. I don't know how it ends. I can tell you, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. The only way that might stop is for Lauren Montgomery to go somewhere else, like college football. That's the only way I can see this getting stopped. Now I can see Travis Hill and Broken Arrow, and Jinx and Owasso getting better. They have great coaches already, so that part's taken care of. Broken Arrow has all the numbers, but I'm just here to tell you, Bixby. It's one thing to see it on a stream. It's different in person. It really is. And you know what? The Bixby coaches, Bixby fans that I've been around are pretty humble too. You get to some of these schools who've won a lot, they're pretty humble. They're nice to be around. They're great to talk to. They can be as cocky as they want, but man, they've been, I haven't been around the players a lot, but around the coaches and their administration and their fans, they're great people too. Which Carl Albert's the same way. Those, a lot of people don't like the dynasties. I really don't like the dynasties either. I like 4A football, 7 different teams, 7 different champions in the last 7 years. I like that more so than Bixby and Carl Albert winning all the time. I like the different teams. Everyone has their different opinion on it, and there's not a right answer or a wrong answer, but schools like that remain humble, and that goes a long way in my book anyway. All right. Aaron. Pecola in the house just another week as an underdog, working out well. Absolutely, Aaron Cagle. Absolutely. Pecola underdogs, yes. They were underdogs to Fairview and won that game. So, yeah, they are the underdogs, and it's working fantastic for them. And I think Pecola wants everybody to pick against them this week as well. So, keep riding that. They got obviously got Tonkawa this week. On paper, you would probably say Tonkawa would be the favorite there, but with the bye week, Chris, right? No, Aaron, I said this before. My one little concern about Pensacola is I know they can score 50 points, 60 points, 70 points, but if it came down to their defense in a fourth quarter ball game, could they win? And they proved they could in that victory over Fairview. Fairview, a team that has played deep in the playoffs over the last several years, and Pensacola goes to Fairview, I think it was the first ever meeting, and beats them 18-13. That was a huge victory for Pensacola. So I'm now a believer. Pensacola fans, you just know that I went to Pensacola over the summer and drove through the baseball, softball, football. No one was there, so I got to walk around and look at everything in Pensacola, Oklahoma, on the way to my Tracy Lawrence concert. But I'm happy for you guys. I'm not going to probably not pick your team on Wednesday night, which is what you want because I picked against you. So be happy that I'm enjoying the season with you. I'm not going to pick you to win, and that's what you want. So be happy that I'm not picking you to win. So nothing but love for you, though, Aaron, and Pensacola fans out there. TJ, if they win state after winning the first 3 by 50, it'll be the first time that happened. Talking about ceiling. That's a good step. Dustin said BA needed a quarterback change. Well, I remember at the beginning of the year, Coach Hill, Jeremiah Satimba, was the quarterback last year, and I think he opened that job up, and I thought probably best that they need to go there. But I think that's more of a Bixby thing because Broken Arrow won a lot of games. They lost to a team over in Fayetteville, and they lost to, before losing to Bixby, they also lost to Owasso. So, yeah, they did play a couple quarterbacks, more of a wildcat probably look with the Hicks kid. But, yeah, I think now moving forward with the transfer rule, I think Broken Arrow will be a great spot for a lot of quarterbacks to consider. Ain't that crazy? And I'm not a fan of that. If you've been following me, I'm not a fan of the transfer. It's going to happen, so it doesn't matter if I like it or not. It's going to happen, but it's like, ugh. Charlie confirming Bixby is coached well and very well disciplined. That's exactly right. They're elite. They are elite. Chris Devine, wait until you see the Bixby plays Bixby will come up with this week. Yeah? No. Yeah, they get to showcase everything this week in the state championship game with Owasso. Congratulations, Coach Bill Blankenship. I think I wrote down, 70? This will be his 78th playoff game to coach. State championships at Union, Fayetteville, and Owasso. Phil talked to him after the game, and just listen to Coach Blankenship talk is a cool thing. He's a great guy, great Christian, just a guy that you can get behind. He'll have his hands full this week. Owasso's played really, really well. Jumped out to a 26-0 lead over Jinx, but I thought that Jinx would come back, and they did. Tied the game up eventually 36-36, game-winning field goal with about 2 minutes and 41 seconds left on the clock. And KD Jones does set the school record for Jinx for most career rushing yards, and he did it in 3 years. Only had 56 yards rushing, though. Owasso and Bixby, those schools have done a really good job against KD Jones over the years. I know KD went for, I think, 160 yards against Owasso in the second game of the year, but Taj Overton got hurt that game. I was watching that game here. We were on a bye week, so I got to watch that game, and Taj Overton got hurt, and that's when KD had most of his yards there. So when I've watched Jinx, which means they're playing Owasso, Union, somebody like that, Bixby, those teams did a pretty good job against KD. But with that being said, KD, we talked about it on the broadcast on Friday. I know he's a stud running back, man. I'd be curious if Kansas would look at him as a slot receiver. I mean, he can play that. Obviously, he can run the ball as well, but that would be interesting if he lines up at wide receiver. Of course, he had the big kick return for 70 yards as well. I think he had 4 touchdowns. I just know he's limited to 56 rushing yards again. So Owasso did a good job on that. Right. Charlie, that's where it starts in the first, second, and third grade. Yeah, and so we always talk about the first graders and the second graders and third graders, which is kind of crazy, first grade football. But Am I becoming the old man? I'm all sharing everything that I don't like, but I get it. But first grade football, yeah. But yeah, no. What I was going to say with that before I got sidetracked, everyone talks, all their programs always talk about the Little League program, and they do have good programs. I'm just those schools. Of course, Bixby, Owasso, they all have all the kids. They got thousands of kids to choose from, so surely they would be good. But yeah, it does start there. Bixby is a machine. They are a machine. Charlie says, those Talladega boys have been playing together since first and second grade with the same boys. That's what I like. That's me too, Charlie. I'm exactly with you. I know the folks in Adair are the exact same way. I got to visit with them, and it's always cool when you see those state championship teams or those state semifinal teams or whatever it may be, teams that play deep in the playoffs, and you look at their third grade photo, and the stud quarterback, the stud running back, the stud linebacker, the stud safety, the offensive lineman, the defensive line, they're all playing together as a third grade team, and now they're seniors. That's what I get behind. That's what I can root for. I know I'm probably in the minority on that, but that's what I get excited for. The recruiting, the 5 stars, 4 stars, I follow it. But when schools when teams and schools have success, I get excited for the towns, for the people. That's what I get excited for. Adair and Stroud, they're in the state semifinals. That's who I'm happy for. Obviously happy for the players and coaches, but man, the folks who go to all the games home and away and put a lot of time and effort into that, who takes their kids to camp or brings the drinks or the snacks to the Little League, that's who I get excited for. That's who I get excited for. I had players in too, but Chris, Neek Films has a documentary about Bixby football called Football Country. Yes, thank you, Chris, for sharing that. I have watched that. Is there 2 episodes? Maybe just one long one, maybe 2. I can't remember. Watched that a couple months ago. Fantastic. It is a fantastic production, and I definitely followed that. Thank you. Football Country is what I called it. If you got a little bit of time, I would highly, highly encourage everybody to watch that. You get a lot out of it. I did too. It's pretty cool. Darren Hunt, just want to ask, love the show. Who did y'all that BA front 7 was better? I understand y'all didn't see them in person all year. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Darren, I think the way I said it would have been me who has said that. And you're right. That was my first time to see. Where did we didn't go anywhere by week. So it would have been my first time to see everybody. I watched those 4 teams a lot this year on all the streams. I think what I said, and I think this way I said it. I think if Broken Arrow would have the advantage, it would be on the offensive and defensive lines is where I think they would have the advantage. I think that's how I said it. If I didn't say it the right way, then I've been known to say dumb stuff before. But I thought that was the one chance that Broken Arrow would have to keep it close. It was a 3-quarter ball game. I was excited that we got 3 good quarters. Coach Montgomery also said he was glad to see a 4th-quarter ball game. I know they blew him out in the 4th quarter, but he was happy to see it as well. But I said, and I said it twice when Broken Arrow played Mustang, the difference in those games would be the offensive and defensive lines, and they were against Mustang. And so I carried that over as, well, that's their chance. That's their chance to keep it close. And so that's what if I didn't say that, that's probably what I meant, Darren. But, Junk, don't get started on the Tracy Lawrence stuff. Best song ever. Yeah. And what's crazy is Paint Me a Birmingham. Of course, if you don't know, I'm a Tracy Lawrence fan. I don't know, Phil and Ronnie would call it something else. But a side note, Paint Me a Birmingham never went number 1. Never went number 1. Isn't that a crime? Chris Devine, Katie Jones, 0 state championship rings. Mole is about to get 1. Yep, that is a fact. I already saw Daddy Jones on Twitter blaming the officials. I thought I was there for both games. There was one inadvertent whistle. I can't remember if it was the day game or the night game. There was one inadvertent whistle that the official blew his whistle, and he goes, immediately he goes, that's my bad. I don't remember what game it was, but I thought the officiating was fine both games. Both crews I've seen multiple times this year. I thought they both had a great day. Did they miss one or two? Probably, but everyone's going to miss one. But so I didn't think that was fair to go after the officials the way it did. But that social media account stays busy with that kind of stuff all the time. So kudos to all the officials out there for getting these assignments as well. And I know they're not perfect, but man, that's as exciting as the football teams are to get into the state semifinals or the state championship. Same thing remains for the state for the officiating crews. Today was selection Sunday. Today was selection, so the officials got their assignments for the state semifinals and state championship games this week. So I need to reach out to some of my officials and see if they got state championship games. That's always cool that they get those assignments. Not guaranteed every year. So, man, I got to reach out to my officials. Hopefully they got assignments. I need to message them here. I need to do that. Charlie says, I hope you're coming to Beggs this week. Charlie can't make it. I'm producing all the 12 state championship games this year on the NFHS network. So I will be at UCO Thursday morning, afternoon, and nighttime on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Come home on Sunday, see what the family looks like, work on graphics for the next week's state championship games as well. So will not make it to Beggs, so going to have to do it without me. For the Golden Tigers, wish you guys luck, but it will be a great game. So, Chris, Daddy Jones always blames the officials on the football field and the basketball court. Oh, I didn't even know about the basketball court. I see the football stuff enough, and it's just I don't know why I have to go and look because I know it's going to be there. Maybe that's why I go and look because I know it's going to be there. So, Chris Devine, how does the OSSAA decide who's going to be the home team for the semifinals and for the championship game? Good question. I know the answer. To say it or not to say it. I don't know if it's a secret or not. I don't think it's a secret. Chris, do you have my contact? Okay, I'll say it. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if it's true. This is my best guess. How about that? This is my best guess on who's the home team in a neutral game, semifinals or championship game. My best guess is they consider who might bring the most people. So I'll bring out one example, and it can't even happen. So let's say Bishop Kelly plays Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow is more than likely going to bring more people. The home side of this football stadium usually hosts the most people. So you put Broken Arrow on the home side and Bishop Kelly on the away side. Pure guess. That's a pure guess. So, yeah, Chris was curious about that as well. Not a coin flip. No. My best guess is whoever they think might bring the most folks gets the home side. That's just a guess. Why not put Elgin on the home side? Kaysen asking that question. Just a guess. And that kind of puts it, I said it earlier, I think Elgin would bring more people than Cushing. But maybe with the temporary sitting that's being brought in, maybe more people can fit on the away side. Courtney's laughing at me. Yeah, it's just a guess. There we go. Chris Devine should go to the higher ranked team. Well, let me and another example. Of course, this is from year to year, but let's say, well, I can say this because Coach Dunn knows. Like when Guthrie and Carl Albert play, Guthrie brings usually, if it was usually a bigger crowd, just because Guthrie's a community school. They live in a large community where Middale is not. They're in the Oklahoma City area, Middale area. So that's usually how it works. It's not exact science by any means. Maybe I should say that's a factor. That's a factor that's put in there. Chris should for sure go to a higher ranked team. I feel like, well, yeah, I think you got to weigh it all in. I don't think it's a guarantee that the ranked team should be number one. And it really doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, dark uniforms with light uniforms, I don't think that really is a big deal in football for sure. Jenk, she's kind of mean. Oh, not the one, not the Courtney that I've been known, that I've learned this year. Suburban schools will bring more than city schools. Yeah, Chris says it perfectly. So that's a factor. I mean, right or wrong, that is a factor. Dustin says there's no ranking system for OSSAA. Ranking system. There is a ranking system, a point system for officials. Football officials are graded closely, and that helps them with their assignments. But I don't think of a ranking system for OSSAA. Awaiting more. Let's see here. Make sure we're not missing any on TikTok here. What do you think about Weatherford against Broken Bow? What did you think about Weatherford and Broken Bow? Boy, those 4A games feel like they were 2 years ago. With the bye week this past week. So Broken Bow, they play in that 4A District 4 along with Salisal, Poto, and Ada. And I thought in the regular season, that might have been the best district there was. A1 was pretty good as well with Hooker, Fairview, and Cashin. But Broken Bow beats Weatherford 50-28. Not surprised there. Of course, Weatherford, with the things happening in Clinton, got to host that first round playoff game, which drew Broken Bow, which Weatherford was going to have a tough task no matter what side of the bracket they were on. And Broken Bow is just one. I think Broken Bow, well, according to my top 10 rankings for a good part of the year, Broken Bow has been the third best team all season long. So they beat Weatherford 50-28. Not surprised there. Broken Bow's got the Graydon Howell kid, great quarterback, probably a better baseball player, as crazy as that is. And it should be a great game with Broken Bow and Tuttle. Tuttle and Elgin just has that. Been talking Tuttle, Elgin ever since last year's state championship game with Elgin winning that game. And now they got tough contests this week. They also had tough second round contests, and they blew by those. Absolutely blew by. Elgin took it to Ada, and Tuttle took it to Grove. And I thought those games would be competitive, and they weren't. So I think Elgin and Tuttle, if they take care of business, should make it to the state championship. I will be picking Tuttle and Elgin to get to the state championship game. Now they're going to want to show up and obviously play that. Cushing and Broken Bow will have different ideas. But, and for the Elgin folks out there, hopefully you caught Chalmer Wyatt's interview on Wednesday night on the High School Huddle. I was out of pocket on Thursday and obviously had games on Friday, or Thanksgiving was Thursday. That's why I was out of pocket. Thanksgiving Thursday, games on Friday. So I've not updated that interview with Chalmer Wyatt. I can tell you, talking with our friends in Tuttle, we might have a surprise coming from Tuttle maybe on Wednesday's show. That would be fun to watch. Kaysen, score prediction for Elgin game. I know that Elgin defense better show up, Kaysen Meyer. I know the offense plays good, but that defense better show up. Of course, nothing's official on Sunday nights. Wednesday nights are the official pick night. So if I were to pick it now, Phil Nichols called me today. He only called me one time, and we talked about this. And he Phil asked me on Friday when we were on the way to Catoosa, on the way back from Catoosa, and he asked me the same question about 2 hours ago. He wanted me to give him a score on Elgin Cushing, and I told him 41-21, 38-14, something like that. And each time I gave him a score, he gave me two scores. I said, yeah, we'll go 2 scores. So that's my thinking right now on Sunday night. We'll make it official on Wednesday night. So that's my thinking on Cushing and Elgin. But Keldon Fry, I know Casey knows this. Keldon Fry, Roman Tucker, 2 outstanding two-way players. They are some of the best players in Class 4A football, and they can play for a lot of teams in 5A and 6A football as well. And how about, and I said when the brackets came out in 6A2, real quick, we haven't talked about a whole lot about them. Choctaw, when the brackets came out, I said there's a path for them. I think they're going to get to the state finals, and they are. They beat Stillwater 22-14. 4th title game for Choctaw under Coach Jake Corbin. They have 6 straight wins. It was kind of a bumpy ride at the beginning. They were playing some really good teams at the beginning, and that's why you play those games. Sand Springs. Sand Springs played Bixby and Owasso to begin the year. Of course, they were 0-2 and got dog walked in both those games. But here they are. They played Pump City last week, got down 27-7 at halftime, and came back and scored 21 points in the second half to win 28-27. They score late, and they go for 2, and they get the 2-point conversion to win that after a missed extra point earlier in the ball game. But I guarantee you, Sand Springs, when they played Bixby and Owasso, when they played Pump City, they didn't look like Bixby and Owasso. That's why you play those games. That's why you play those non-conference games. Tuttle played Guthrie. Elgin played Lawton MacArthur. And so you see teams like that, and you get to your 4A schedule. Not that those are your best teams on their schedule, but it gets them ready for postseason play all the time. I know a lot of B2 schools and 2A2 schools played up as well. And so I think that only makes it better. And it's great football for folks like us who follow high school football. You want to see the great games when you can. Tick-tock, you don't stop. Okay, so we're all cut up there. Okay, TikTokers, you got about little less than 5 minutes before I have to stop the stream. Oh, here it is right here. TikTok's let me know. Okay. So we'll be stopping the stream here in just a few seconds on TikTok. I'll put the link one more time in here. Oops. If you want to come over to YouTube, that's where the comments are. You can much easier to get your comments in over there. But I'm going to have to stop the stream here in just a second on TikTok. I'm going to put the link on YouTube. Come over as we are. Let's see if we got any new subscribers. We got more questions coming in. We'll definitely get those here. I need like a 30-second timeout here. We have no new subscribers. If you're here on TikTok, you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that. We need 27 more. 27 more. It will open up a few new things for us on the YouTube channel, so please do that. All right. TikTok, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and end it now. That way I don't have to edit TikTok, and it's all good to go there. So if you're on TikTok, come over. I got to end this chat. So appreciate you guys, because I don't want to forget. End live. Bye-bye. Okay. TikToks are gone. Hopefully they'll come over here and ask all the fun questions over here. Okay. Let me get this pulled back up here. There we go. Okay. Charlie, what do you think about the 2A semifinal games? Comments. I think they're going to be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I've seen Davis play, I've seen Vian play, and I've seen Adair play. Got to be honest with you, I have not seen Stroud play. Have not seen the Stroud Tigers play. So let's do this together, and let's take a look at Stroud real fast. We won't spend a whole lot of time on it. Let's look at Stroud. Stroud. I know they had the one hiccup against Chandler to begin the year. It helps if you pick the right class. There they are. Stroud. Okay. 11-1, lost to Chandler at the beginning of the year, 13-8. Beat Pawnee, that's a good victory. Beat Tonkawa, that's a really good victory. Beat Beggs, Wyandotte was a good victory and won that one with 35 points. So they got 2-3 really good wins on their schedule. Lost to Chandler, but that was the first game of the year. Probably didn't. I don't know what happened there. So I have seen Adair play in person. It's all about a big part of their Adair is the quarterback, McCord. Got some other weapons. The Ethan Stevens, I believe is his name. And man, I think this is the year that has been circled for Adair. This will be a great contest with Stroud. Again, that game's at Ponca City, and my heart and I think my mind is going toward Adair. This is definitely their year to do that. It's been circled, and so that would be a fantastic ball game. I think the Davis-Vian game is maybe the best game. I don't know if it's the best game, but it's one of the best games of the week. Davis-Vian, that is a big time matchup. I think Adair and Stroud would rather be on this side of the bracket fighting for the semi-game to get into the finals because that Davis-Vian game is going to be big time. Vian's got the Mason Wright kid extremely well. Davis is the defending state champions. Davis beat Adair last year, 27-24. Adair got over that hump. They had been in the quarters last couple of years, got over the hump with that victory over Holdenville, 20-14 in a great game. I think all the scoring happened in the first half, and Adair got a late stop on Holdenville. But Davis's offense very similar to Holdenville with the wing T, flex bone, wishbone, whatever you want to call it, is really hard to stop. Mason Wright, no disrespect to anybody, but Mason Wright will probably be the best player on this week, and if they win, it might be probably the best player in that next game as well. And so sometimes when the teams are even, the best player can elevate those teams. It's not guaranteed the best player can take you there, but he is really talented, really talented. Let me look at Vian real quick here. Let's look at him here real quick. 11-1 on the year. Lost to Kiefer. Now, Kiefer is a 2A program. So they went up a couple classes and played Kiefer and lost by 1 point, 30-29. They beat Pacola, 41-20. That's a good victory. Beat Valiant, 45-13. I knew in my mind Valiant was going to win the game, but I still picked Valiant. That happens from sometimes. Sometimes my heart just outthinks my head sometimes, which sometimes is a good thing. That time it was a bad thing. But they played, and they beat them by 35 points. Wow. So they're really good. They are really good. Really good. Begin the year, I picked Davis to win it. I have Adair number 1, and now Vian might be the team to beat. So I'm mixed in 2A2. I'm really mixed. It's tough. It's a lot of moving parts in 2A2 for me. So official decisions on Wednesday. They keep coming off there. Junk. Lots of good games this week as well for small schools. Yes. I'm excited. As I said earlier, B and C games, we don't cover them a lot in the regular season. Probably not fair. We probably need to do that more. But, man, there's just so many blowouts. You don't get very many great games until late in the season. And still, we didn't get very many good games last week. But they should be great this week. Ryan and Medford, Sealing and Walika, Dewar and Laverne. Dewar and Laverne is a rematch of last year's state championship game. So we mentioned 2A2. 2A1, we haven't talked about that yet. With Jones, Washington, Marlowe. I mean, that's going to be a fun bracket as well. Why did that go off? Let me pull this up here real quick before I go to more comments. We're going to get the comments in here, but we've been talking so much about these other classes that we haven't really brought up a whole lot yet here. A2 football, Fairland, Tallahena will be a great game. Tallahena is on a road. This is their year. If it can't get done this year, it might be a while for Tallahena, but I really think they will get it done. I think Hominy will be a great matchup for Tallahena if they were to get to the finals. if Fairland gets to the finals with a victory over Talihina, I would be happy for Fairland too, man. They've come a long ways, long ways. But as has Talihina. Heck, Talihina couldn't field a team in 2022. So that's great. Allen, the Mustangs have come from nowhere this year. I didn't see this type of season from Allen. I knew they were okay, but I didn't think they were state semifinal good, and they are really good this year. So I think Hominy might be a little bit better, but Allen got past Southwest Covenant, which Southwest Covenant had a pretty good year as well. But, yeah, I like Hominy and Talihina on Sunday night at this moment right now. We haven't talked about A1 yet. Pecola Tonkawa, we did a little bit. The other side of that one, Pawhuska and Rejoice Christian, another great These semifinals are tremendous, and we knew that with Class A football and 5A, although 5A semis were, we've had such a great 5A season, and then we had 2 blowouts in the semis. Anyway, it happens sometimes. Carl Albert McGinnis in the 5A final, got some interesting stats on that one for Wednesday night, but Pawhuska, Rejoice Christian. I'm going to pick Rejoice Christian to win the whole thing, so I'll be picking against Pawhuska. But Coach Matt Hennessy, they got a great quarterback. The transfer in from Copan, he's thrown for I think over 8,000 yards. So that would be a tough task. Rejoice Christian got a 4-star sophomore quarterback, got a OU commit wide receiver in DB, and they have great coaching. And so that will be a great matchup there. Great matchup. Who was that said that? Junk is exactly right. There are some classic small schools semifinals this week. How about Jones and Marlowe? A high-powered offense of Jones, Ace and Hansen going up against Hudson Morgan of Marlowe. Marlowe loses their quarterback. Weber goes down with an injury. Bring in Morgan as from your running back to your quarterback spot. Did a fantastic job in the victory over Kingston, 35-21, won by 2 touchdowns. And this was a game that Kingston lost to Marlowe last year. It was on Kingston's home field. This was Kingston's year. They had a great senior class, and Marlowe goes in there and wins by 2 touchdowns. That was a statement victory for Marlowe. And so now you have Jones and Marlowe. I don't know. We'll have to pick this game probably on Wednesday. Something tells me Marlowe is ready for this time. Jones trying to get over that hump. It's been Marlowe's Washington the last few years. Of course, Washington's won 3 in a row. The team before Washington was Marlowe, who won the state championship. Marlowe and Washington played earlier this year as a 1-scored game win for Washington. Washington's only slip-up this year was to Sulphur that ended a 45-game winning streak. Sulphur is in a 3A state championship against Lincoln, or semifinals, not yet. I'm thinking Sulphur Lincoln in the championship, but that's not official yet. Sulphur's got a little bit of work to do before they were to play maybe Lincoln Christian. Lincoln Christian got some work to do as well. I'm not getting ahead of myself there, but Washington has OCS. My good friend Tanner Roof is the head coach at OCS, and they are playing some great defense. Creighton Allen, I think is his name, the quarterback, has done really well. OCS beat Metro Christian, who I had number 1 a good part of the season. Metro Christian, their first loss of the year, they're 11-1 and done. So OCS playing really good football. I think Washington is definitely the paper favorite in that one, and I think Washington gets past OCS. But man, if OCS gets there, I'm happy for my friend Tanner Roof. Tough task though. Creed Barrett and Alexander at Washington are tough. They are tough, and they are a program. They are definitely a program. 3A, Sulphur and Perkins. Coach Hudson and the Perkins Demons continue their winning ways, and as we all know, that is a very private school, heavy class. Perkins gets it to the state semifinals with 3 other private schools, Lincoln Christian, Heritage Hall, 2 of the 4. You got private schools on the left and the public schools on the right. So Sulphur and Perkins will fight it out on one side. Certainly like Sulphur in that one, but man, Perkins, you don't want to get, if you're Sulphur, you don't want a close game in the fourth quarter, because Perkins has shown a couple times this year how good they are in fourth quarter late games. So I do like Sulphur, although Perkins, the superintendent over there is Doug Ogle, good friend of mine. If they get there, I'm extremely happy for Doug Ogle and Coach Hudson and Perkins. if Sulphur gets there, I'm happy for my friends in Sulphur as well. So I'll be happy. I'll be happy no matter what happens in that ball game. Heritage Hall and Lincoln Christian. My good friend Doug Nelson does the play-by-play for Lincoln Christian. Outstanding guys, some great people at Lincoln Christian. I don't know very many folks at Heritage Hall. Coach Bogert does a great job, has a great program. They're in these games every single year. And Lincoln Christian, I think, is the team to beat for sure in Class 3A football. So we'll see. We'll see. Final decisions on Wednesday, though. And I think we talked about all the classes now, so we can get to all the great comments now. Have you watched any Cushing games this year? 14 seems super low for points. Voxen? I don't know what to go with that. Voxen. Yes, I have seen Cushing play a few times, not in person though, on streams. As I mentioned a few times, Kellen Fry, Roman Tucker, Coach Morgan. I think this is his 5th year, and now Coach Morgan and the Tigers won the state championship 3-4 years ago against Wagner. And so you always have these teams every now and then that have really good teams, but you try to take your good teams and put them together and have a program. And Cushing is really, really close to having a program as they've been consistent over the years. The Burlowitz kid is over at Vanderbilt. Cameron Crooks was a great wide receiver a couple years ago. They had a couple great wide receivers, almost won a state championship. So Coach Morgan is building that program over in Cushing. I'm excited for them. I got some good friends over in Cushing as well. So that would be fantastic if they can get that victory. But they'll be an underdog to a very, very talented Elgin team who is building a program themselves. We had Coach Chalmer White on the show last week on Wednesday. I need to get that interview up on the YouTube channel. But he's building a program as well. I don't know how long, 5-6 years he's been there, but they were 1-9, 5-5, 5 wins before he took over. Now he's taken over, and now he's going to lose a great running back, linebacker, and Ritzenmeyer, Kaysenmeyer, a couple of guys off this year's team next year. So we'll see how they regroup next year. They're not worried about next year. They got a semifinal game this week. But 2 teams, of course, Elgin might be in 5A football, and I got sidetrack here real quick, but my best guess is Elgin will move up to Class 5A football. I asked Coach Wyatt that question, and he played it off, which was the right answer for him to do that. I said, "Are you 5A next year?" He goes, "We'll see. We'll see." I think they will, and it's not official. But I haven't looked at to make it official yet. But I think he'll be 5A. And real geek question out real quick. If they were to be 5A, I think the district alignment that comes out for 5A1, 5A2, I haven't done this for all the districts, but I'm thinking Elgin, Bishop McGinnis, Lawton MacArthur, Altus, Shawnee, Lawton, Southeast, and Guyman would be in the same district. Now, if McGinnis were to win this week, that could throw some things off, but Elgin, McGinnis, MacArthur in the same district potentially next year, how fun would that be? Okay. I got sidetracked. I apologize. Kaysen, need to get Ronnie in a Ritson and Brody back-to-back shirt from beginning of the year prediction. Yeah. I remember that. Boy, that was early. It feels like that was just a couple weeks ago, Kaysen. Yeah. Ronnie and Phil went back-to-back. Need some shirts. That would be awesome. Courtney confirming Adair great seniors. Boys played together for years. Yeah, man, I can get behind that all the time. Billy, Elgin all day, baby. Well, yep, we're there. We are there. These games, Elgin had Lawton MacArthur earlier this year, and then after that, it was kind of like, okay, we'll see Elgin here in a few weeks for another marquee game. Thought we had a marquee game with Ada. That was no marquee game. Took it to them. Sendite 0419. How about those Sendites? Absolutely. I was nervous for Sand Springs, so we were doing the 6A1 broadcast, and we were giving scoring updates in those games, and Sand Springs was down at halftime, 27-7 over at Edmond North. They scored 21 points to win it there. Easton Webb scores with 22 seconds to pull Sand Springs within a point, 27-26. Coach Bobby Klink didn't even think about it. We're going for 2. They run on the left side with the running back, Brock Odell, and they win it. They win it 28-27, and man, 21 points in the second half to come back. And Sand Springs' first title game. They're back in the title game since 2015. Also, my good friends in Adair, they won a state championship in 2015. Altus in 5A won a state championship in 2015. They had a great season as well. So it's kind of like the 10-year reunion for Altus, Adair, and Sand Springs. But Sand Springs looking for the first state championship since 1966. I have Sand Springs as the number one team in the state of Oklahoma in Class 6A2. Before when the playoffs came out, when the bracket was in set, I said this is not the time that you want to play Choctaw. I know they are the defending state champions. I know they had an ugly record at the beginning. I think they've won 6 games in a row. They have athletes all over the place. Landon Gatson at quarterback. But, man, this is the year for Sand Springs. This is the year. Choctaw's got the program. I kind of went back for it. You know, you put these good teams. Who was it? Sendite 0419. Help me out. I'm hoping you're still watching. But hasn't Choctaw beat Sand Springs in the playoffs 3 consecutive years in a row? I know you probably don't want to put yes on there, but just help me out for informational purposes. I'm not trying to bring it down, Sendite 0419, but I think that's the case. But Coach Bobby Klink, they got them going. They've been spectacular all season. Those 2 tough games at the beginning have paid off, and now they're in the big dance. And I'll see Sand Springs, Coach Bobby Klink, and a couple of players. I'm sure there'll be Easton Webb and maybe Dom Forbes coming to UCO on Tuesday. Can't wait to talk to them and share what they have to say. Charlie, going back to 2A2 football, says he thinks Vianne's going to win by 2 touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprised. Vianne's really, really good. And I confirm with Dustin, yes, Vianne plays in a weak district. There are some really good teams this year that did not have very good districts this year. And I don't think that matters because from what the teams that are really good that play in weak districts have really good coaching to get them ready for these type of games. I've learned that over the years. It's like, man, they didn't play a very good schedule. And sometimes that's true, but when you deal with these teams like Lincoln Christian, they're a program. They are a program, didn't have a really tough district, but they went in and took care of business. Cushing, Tuttle, district wasn't all that great, maybe because Tuttle and Cushing are really good, but they go in there and beat those teams like they should be, 51-7, 50-0. So I kind of agree with that, but sometimes that's true. It happens both ways, so I'm not disagreeing at all. Charlie says you better change it. Vian takes state. I know. I keep going to it, man. It's in my head. It's in my head. I can see Adair. I can see Davis. I can see Vian. Trenton Tucker. Let's go, Cushion. We will score more points than most people think. All right. Trenton Tucker. I don't know if any relation to some Roman Tucker. That's awesome. I love the confidence. I'm looking forward to it. I want a great game. I know Coach White and Coach Ballard want to win, but, man, I'm looking for a great game. That's what I want. Kind of like the Broken Arrow Bixby game. That was a 3-quarter game. I was excited. We got 3 good quarters. Owls don't stand a chance. Boy, I don't know if you're talking about Fairlawn or Elgin, but I think they both have good chances. Junk. Adair played up all 3 non-district games. Jay made the playoffs. Inola made the playoffs. Locust Grove did not make the playoffs. I just need to run Junk 6. All bigger schools, 2 of the 3 of the teams making the playoffs. Yeah, I was exchanged. We were on the same brainwave there. I was getting ready to go through all the ins and outs, but remember Jay beat, was it Veneta? Jay had lost 4 games in a row, and I think they beat Veneta they rallied in the 4th quarter to beat Veneta to get into the playoffs, but nonetheless, they were there. I know the Longhorns. We went to dinner in between the 6A1 games, and I saw a gentleman wearing Longhorn. He had a Longhorn logo on his shirt, and of course it was gold. And I said, "Oh, and I know the Longhorns. All right, go Longhorns." He looked at me like I was an idiot, but I was hoping he'd want to talk I know the football, but he didn't have really a care in the world about I know the football, so we didn't talk about it. They did lose, so probably didn't want to talk about it. It was bad timing on my part. Charlie, the core group for Tallahassee is juniors this year. I think you will see them up next. Okay, I thought they were seniors. Okay, Charlie is Landon, the quarterback. Is he a senior? I can look it up, but you're probably faster than me. Sandite, thank you for confirming. Yeah, so that's one trend. And so my mind goes to Easton Webb and Dom Forbes have lost to these teams, to the Choctaw teams. Not that motivates them more because it's a state championship game. How more can you be motivated by that kind of thing? But you just think that's in their mind, and they've been there. They tasted that loss, and you know they don't want to taste that again. And so that's going to be a fantastic game. I got to pick that game for sure on Wednesday. I guess I'm human. My heart says Sand Springs. Come on. One title in 66. Coach Bobby Klink, Easton Webb, Dom Forbes. Man, your heart's got to root for Sand Springs, doesn't it? Choctaw has won one last year. Very athletic. Been there, done that. Wouldn't be surprised if they win. Man, I don't know. It's okay to have a heart, right? Say that. Yes, they got us 3 times if I remember correctly. I think that's right. Says don't quote me on that, but I think that's right. I'll look it up for sure. Fireful. Love the name. Tallahassee starting quarterback. Top 2 receivers are juniors. Starting running backs sophomore. Uh-oh. Yeah. There you go. Tallahassee. And Coach Gravitt. Got to hold on to Coach Gravitt. I don't know if he's from there. Is Coach Gravitt from Tallahassee? I'm telling you, that dude, B. Durant, I don't know, B. Durant on TikTok has a lot of Tallahassee stuff. That is a great TikTok. My algorithm has a lot of Tallahassee on it. I got to be honest with you, I see more Tallahassee on TikTok than I have game film this year. Coach Gravitt, man, he can motivate you to run through a brick wall. Love listening to Coach Gravitt, man. Sendite's hoping it would be magical with Choctaw. It would be. And I got to tell you, Pump City, 27-7 at halftime, I thought it was over. I got to be honest with you, I thought it was over. I've seen Pump City play a couple times, and they were really, really good. They've had a lot of transfers. Coach Willis Alexander's son on the defensive line is good. They got a Kansas State commitment that's on the defensive line. Turnbull played for Millwood for 3 years, got to the state championship 3 years. He goes over to Pump City. So he's won those type of games before. I thought it was over, Sandite. I thought it was over. And then 21 unanswered points in the second half to win it was huge. So congratulations to Sand Springs. Junk says Sand Springs as well. That's great news, Fire. That's great news, Fire. Charlie, I didn't know that either. That's good news for Tallahassee. Coach Gravitt is a Tallahassee alum, full career at Tallahassee, and that is great news. That is... I'm telling you, I'm not trying to geek out, but I would certainly watch that TikTok. B. Durant, I think there might be some numbers behind it. I'm not sure what it is, but they do a great job with their social media. Do a great job. All right. Comments are slowing down. That happens. We're going about an hour and a half. Nothing wrong with that. I guess, I love me some 5A football, so bear with me here for just a few seconds on 5A football. Bishop McGuinness gets a revenge from week 10. As remember, Lott MacArthur went into Bishop McGuinness on senior night in Oklahoma City and needed to win by 10 points or more to win the district championship, and they did. And so McGuinness was the number 3 seed, 9-1 record, a 3 seed, go into Guthrie, get a game-winning touchdown with just a couple minutes left to go into Guthrie and win that game. Whoever was going to win between Guthrie and McGuinness was going to have a pretty easy game against Claremore. McGuinness proves that to be true. And then, Guthrie had beaten Lott MacArthur 2 years in a row. So, man, whoever won that Guthrie-McGuinness first-round game more than likely was going to get to the state championship game, and McGuinness proves that to be true as McGuinness beats Lott MacArthur It was a 21-21 ball game, and then Bishop McGuinness scores 40 unanswered points and beats Lott MacArthur 61-28. McGuinness is in the championship game for the first time since 2020. They have 2 state championships in their school history, 06 and 07. Gabe Eichert's teams back then. They have played Carl Albert in the finals in the years 2016, 17, 19, and 20, and lost all 4 to Carl Albert in the championship game. So they're going to try to reverse that trend this year. Best of luck to them, because Carl Albert has won 52 straight ball games, and they take it to Newcastle 42-7. Newcastle was a good football team. Saw them in person in Pryor, watched them a few times on the stream, and Carl Albert handled them like it was no big deal. 42-7. Carl Albert's now won 52 straight ball games. Newcastle was held to 200 yards of offense. 11 straight wins, Carl Albert over McGuinness, and have an 18-4 record against Bishop McGuinness. Last time Bishop McGuinness won against Carl Albert was back in 2016 in the regular season. So Carl Albert is the machine. They've won 52 in a row. Remember, the state record is Bixby at 58 consecutive games there. So Elijah Matthews, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also returned a punt for a touchdown as Carl Albert perfect 13-0. Here's an interesting fact. They are 20-1. I guess it'd be 21-1. No, 20-1. They've only lost, when they got into the state semifinals, they've only lost 1 time. And when they get to the championship game, they've only lost 1 time. They're 19-1 in state championship games. It's crazy. And they're going to be better next year. They're good this year, obviously, 13-0. They're going to be even better next year. Good luck, 5A. All right. I think we've got all the 6A, 5As, all the Bs, all the Cs. Those are the state championship games this week. As we await just a few more comments, we'll go here for a few more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up here. But here is the schedule for this week's state championship games. Thursday at noon, it's the B2 championship game. It'll be Walika taking on Sealing. That'll be a fun game. It'll be a really fun game. Walika's quarterback, Isaiah Drake, is the real deal. Quarterback for Sealing, Wyatt Tillery, is really good. Rush Hunt, the Sealing running back, is really good as well. That'll be a fun game, B2 at noon. Thursday night at 7 o'clock, it'll be the B1 football championships, Laverne and Dewar. That's a rematch of last year's state championship game. Braylon Lewis for the Dewar Dragons as they try to go back-to-back, their 3rd title since 2020. Laverne has not allowed a point in the playoffs as well. They beat Central, Caddo, and Palm Creek Hunter combined 146-0. Those are our Thursday games. Go home, get a quick night of sleep, wake up, get the McAllisters, get my sweet tea. For the 12 o'clock game, the Class C state championship game will feature Ryan and Medford. Ryan looking for their first ever state championship game. Medford looking for their first title since 1999. And then 6A2 state championship Friday night, 7 o'clock. It is not the Stillwater Pioneer. It is the Choctaw Yellow Jackets and the Sand Springs Sandites. Choctaw trying to go back-to-back. Sand Springs trying to win the first title since 1966. That'll be a fun game. Friday night at Chad Richardson Stadium. Saturday will be a fun day of football. Class 5A state championship will be Bishop McGuinness and Carl Albert at noon. Remember, that was last year, the final game of last year's state championship games. 4A will have the honors this year, being the final game, rightfully so. I think that'd be fantastic to do that. And then Saturday night, 7 o'clock, it'll be the Bixby Spartans taking on the Owasso Rams. Can Bixby be stopped? Good luck to Coach Blankenship. They will need a perfect game to beat Bixby. Kelly, what do you think about how the games are scheduled? I hate Thursday state championship games. Yeah, of course, if you go into July and say, Coach John Smith, if you had to play on Wednesday afternoon at noon in the state championship game, would you take it? You absolutely. If you had to play at 2 o'clock in the morning, would you play in it? He goes, they would all take that. Kelly, you know that as well. I'm just teasing you. Yeah, you got with the addition. Last year was the first year we had three new classifications: A2, B2, and A2. 2A2, A2, and B2. And so you can went from 9 championship games to 12 state championship games. You have to split them up. You have to go. Now, the other option, you can play 3 games, but I've seen that before at OSU, 3 state championships in one day. I think if I remember right, you had to go 11, 3:30, and 7:30. But I can tell you, I can't answer it for UCO, but I can tell you when those games were played at Boone Pickett Stadium, OSU did not like that because it's even a longer day for their concession stand workers, their gatekeepers, all the security, all that. They did not like having those 3 games, and you get one game over and you rush the next one. I remember we had the 5A state championship game. We were doing radio back in the day, and we barely got our game day, our post-game interviews in because they were getting them off for the next game. So it's a little bit more rushed. I think it gives a better atmosphere to have 2 games at noon and 7. And I got to tell you, I said it earlier, the 12 o'clock afternoon games are awesome. And those games at 12 o'clock on Thursday, these small schools, they will cancel classes. There's no, I don't know this for sure, but I can tell you, covering some small school basketball over the years, they will cancel school for a state championship game. And that's what's one of the great things about small school football. But with that being said, it probably wouldn't be fun to play Thursday at noon, but it's a great way to get excused from school if there is school. A great day to get off work and spend a day there. So I understand it, but I got to be honest with you, it gives a very great atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere to see all those people. Unfortunately, not everybody can get off work, so I get that. And that's also, to add to that, Kelly, that's why the OSSA rotates these games for the most part. Not guaranteed. It's another factor. 5A state championship last year was a 7 o'clock game on a Saturday night. This year, it's a 5A afternoon game on Saturday. So Carl Albert had the late night game last year. Now they have the early game on Saturday. So the OSSA try to rotate that. They try to be fair as possible. Same thing in basketball. They rotate the classes. And so it's part of it there. So, but that's a good question, Kelly. Absolutely. It's definitely a part of it. So, all right, man, you guys were awesome on the Sunday night. A little over an hour and a half again. Which is pretty darn good when there's only a handful of teams left here in the state of Oklahoma. So, man, thank you guys so much for all the great questions. That's what makes this even better because I get to hear and talk, but you guys inform me on all this great stuff. Sandite, thank you for the information. Fire, thanks for letting me know about Talihina's. I learned something. Coach Gravett is alum there. They're a quarterback and top are juniors. That's great news for them. Running backs and sophomores. So, love that kind of stuff. A reminder, as we sign off here, Wednesday night is the High School Huddle. That's where Ronnie and Phil join me in our downtown studio, and we get after it, talk all the games. It's a really, really fun show. If you have not caught it live show, come and do that. Put your comments on the screen, kind of like here tonight. Ronnie and Phil bring their insights and their entertainment as well. I'm thinking we might get a box, maybe 2 those Wednesday as well. So Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. And a reminder, please, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we need 27 more. We need 27 more to get to 500. And then we won't bug you too much. We won't bother you too much as we try to get to 1,000. But thank you guys. Courtney gets the last word tonight. Talk to you Wednesday. There it is. Courtney, last word. Thank you, Courtney. Good luck to Adair this week. We'll definitely talk about them on Wednesday night. That'll do it here. Guys, have a fantastic work week, and try not to think too much football while you're at work. You know what? Think all about football when you're at work. So long, guys.